Good evening, humans. Tyrannosaurusmoth here, and tonight we're taking a look at the Batman Arkham Asylum Killer Croc figure from McFarlane Toys. Killer Croc has always been amongst, or actually has been my favorite of Batman's rogues gallery, perhaps unsurprisingly, next to Killer Moth, of course. And yeah, I love this representation of him, so I was excited to see this figure get announced and come out. So let's stop talking and start talking about the figure particularly. Let's do this. Aesthetically speaking, Killer Croc looks awesome, and honestly, when I first see McFarlane figures, the first thing that draws my attention is the aesthetics. I cannot argue with the fact that they do put a lot into the sculpt and paint. However, usually it comes down to, and it seems weird that McFarlane is so against articulation, or at least it definitely feels that way. So a lot of the figures, for me, tend to look, pardon me, awfully stiff and just kind of awkward. But that is not the case here with Killer Croc. A lot of the megafigs just kind of look nice. And pardon the camera repositioning here, but this is a very large figure, being a mega figure. And just talking about that sculpt, look at all this detail in the skin. This absolutely nailed it. That Arkham Asylum Killer Croc look is just so good, and they really nailed it here, with the alternating scale textures. We even have the ear sculpted in there, which is pretty cool. One thing I thought was weird was that the eyes are completely yellowed out without having the pupil in there, the kind of croc pupil, and it's a little strange. I like the way it looks this way, so that definitely is not an issue for me. However, if you are a stickler for details, that may be of issue. So definitely worth considering. But other than that, like the rest of the face sculpt, absolutely great. Love the kind of darker shading here on the top. We've got all the kind of spikes here at the chin and the jawline painted in. The mouth looks great. And again, that painted detail, the nice kind of lighter chest coming into the kind of middle on the sides, just where it's that green plastic, and then again gets darker at the back. Some really nice dynamics. Pants have great textures going on throughout. I mean, it looks woven, and then of course you get the belt here, and come down. The shackles look very nice. A great shade of gray. Got a little bit of slop going on there, unfortunately, but definitely not a big deal. I didn't even notice that until just now. So yeah, aesthetics here are very good. Not a whole lot to talk about when it comes to accessories here, it being a McFarlane mega figure, but we do get a couple of things, and the first thing, of course, is that requisite stand, the same size we get with literally every figure from McFarlane, and you can see the DC just kind of in a glossy black as opposed to the matte black, and honestly, that looks kind of classy. I really dig that, so that's pretty cool. And then we get a card, as we get with a lot of the DC figures. So as you can just see the artwork that is also on the back of the box when you get it, and just some bio information, so you can pause that and read it if you want. So yeah, that's it. That's accessories. Articulation for Killer Croc is decent. However, there are a couple of frustrating limitations, and we'll get into that. And actually, I'm going to start right off the bat. So we're going to go top to bottom as we always do. And for the head, we are on a ball joint of some sort. However, that's as far up as we get. That's as far down. Like, not really a lot of movement. There's really no clearance whatsoever, unfortunately. Getting kinda tilt-ish, and then mostly it's swivel. So that's our movement there for the head. Come down the shoulders, we are in our hinge and swivel, so we can come up into our T very nicely. We got a whole bunch of rotation there. Mine is very loose. I don't know if that's gonna be across the board. Or I should say it's relatively loose. Like, it definitely holds different ranks above the in that circle, but yeah, definitely something to be aware of. We come to the elbows, we are single jointed, very heavily detensed, and we're getting to just before 90, not quite 90. And we have hinge and swivel at the wrists, very heavily detensed all around there as well. You can actually see them right here for the wrist. Then we come to the diaphragm. We do have a ball joint, so we're coming all the way around. Really good range here. Come to the waist, and same thing. Lots of good range in the torso, which seems to be a thing that McFarlane has been doing well lately. So there's our arch back. There's our crunch forward, very well, great range. Get rotation all around there, pretty much just the top joint with the diaphragm. Come to the hips. Full splits, absolutely beautiful. Tons of range, and this hip piece is rubber. You can actually see into the joint down there. So that just gets out of the way, never gonna be there. We get thigh swivel there as well. Then we get double jointed knees, bring us to about there, very nice. Then we get down to the feet, and there are our standard joints. However, because they're kind of secured here, they're a little more secure than most McFarlane figures. However, we're only getting that much point, and some really nice forward, honestly. And then we have a toe joint, which doesn't really do too much because it's pretty loose, as you can see, and doesn't really hold the weight. So yeah, that's Articulation. Getting into size comparisons, I currently do not have any Batman figures in my collection. However, here he is with a couple of other McFarlane Toys figures. With some Hasbro. With some imports. With some monsters. Finally, with an articulated Icons Oni, and yours truly in human form as an articulated Icons Ninja. So my final thoughts on the Batman Arkham Asylum Killer Croc figure from McFarlane Toys is that it's a pretty solid figure. If you know what you're getting into with McFarlane Toys, especially their mega figures, you know, it's definitely worth picking up. And especially if you are a fan of Killer Croc as I am, you know, just totally check this out. The price is definitely right. And yeah, you can find it at various online retailers. So I will include links below to some of my favorites, so you can pick this up if you wish. And all that being said, I hope you found this review informative and somewhat entertaining. If you did, please consider liking, commenting, subscribing, and or sharing. Beyond that, if you want to take the next level and help me even more, there'll be ways to do that listed at the bottom of the description below. So please, please, please check those out. And with all of that being said, I hope you take care of yourself, take care of those around you, and most importantly, stay weird, simians.